I got into bike touring after I finished a couple of triathlons in 2009 and 2010. Got back into biking actually in 2009 when a couple of people from work asked me to join the group, and I dusted off my old Specialized rock hopper and started training with that. Eventually I realized that the wheels were way too slow for the pace, so I bought myself a road bike and really got into it, got into biking, built my first single speed or fixie, and met a lot of really cool people. And from that point on, I got into the idea of traveling with my bike and started looking around the internet. I found a couple of people that was really inspiring. One of them was a friend of mine now. Her name was Victoria Merriman. She was riding across the country at that time. And I also met a guy named Joseph Phillipson, also a friend now. He's was riding across the country. So that really was the inspiration. And then I got into touring with someone locally, and we just went on our first trip over to Lake Cachuma over at the Santa Ynez Valley over there. So that's how I got started. Well, I came up with the idea of Milestone Rides was through really having a voice in the bike touring blogosphere. At this time, there was a lot of different bloggers who were doing it, a lot of different content out there, but I wanted to have my own flair to it. Really having people be part of a movement, kind of like just setting out their own milestones and doing it, and really going out there and doing it, how easy it is. I wanted to be a good resource for people of how what I found out in terms of going on bike tours, what I've learned, what kind of mistakes I make. So really, that's really the essential, the start of Milestone Rides. And then I also branched off into a way to go on tours with me through meetups, and that's really where I wanted to get people to be interactive and get more people into bike touring. It's really the goal of what Milestone Rides is about, and so I hope that I can provide that content and that resource for people. As a kid, I used to ride my bikes everywhere. Elementary school all the way to high school, I was riding my bike. And I think the most fondest memory was when I went trick-or-treating with my bikes and a bunch of my friends. And we went and went trick-or-treat door to door using plastic bag and our little BMX bikes. So that was a really fun thing because we had our freedom. We got candy at the end of the night, so that was pretty awesome. So far, the best adventure in my life would actually have to be my last trip at Europe, where I rode across the continent. Started over at Spain, drove up to San Sebastian, Spain, and rode across up to Bordeaux, France. And then we took a train over to the Loire River and rode across France and about 9 other different countries. It's pretty well documented on my blog, so just ended up over at Romania, and so that was the first time I actually ever been out of the country since I've immigrated here when I was 3, so it was a huge adventure, a huge step for me, so that was pretty awesome. I think the most I love about bike touring would actually be meeting people. When you're not going to places, when you're listening to the media versus what Facebook tells you, you're always in this whole fear mode. When you're out in the road and you meet people, the majority of the folks are really nice and supportive. You still have those jerks in the cars honking at you and whatnot, but for the most part, you meet people in person, they are willing to talk to you. They're willing to host you through warm showers or at their house or whatnot. So that's always been a plus, that to meet people and hear about their stories, and they're so intrigued about my story wherever I'm going, if I'm traveling. And so that's always been like the best part about any kind of bike tours. Well, the way I choose my bike touring locations is really I have a bucket list, and look through that and see where I want to go. For the last couple of trips, I mean, besides the Europe trip, that wasn't really on my bucket list, but a friend of mine actually asked me to join it, so I just did it because, hey, why not? It's a trip to Europe. But like the trip down the Pacific coast, that's always been one of the goals in my life that I absolutely wanted to do. And so that was definitely something I needed to have accomplished. And so I just go down that list. If it's something that's plausible, you know, it's not expensive, if it's not, if I have time for it, I'll do it. And so really it's based off of like looking at the time and the cost and just go and, you know, figure it out, you know. My favorite destination so far, oh man, that's a tough one because, you know, I like to cop out and say I like them all, but I think in reality, that Europe trip definitely had a lot of places. I think my most favorite section of that Euro trip was probably when I was riding through near the Black Forest in Germany. And oh my gosh, there was a mixture of gravel road as well as paved road through like mountainous areas with streams along the Rhine River. No, not the Rhine River. The Danube River is really where we were riding through. So that was a very memorable place, one of my favorite places. So yeah, that was one of my good places for that. Will I get tired of this lifestyle? I don't think so. I think it keeps me on my feet, really, in terms of, you know, going on adventures and kind of getting out of my comfort zone. I like that. It makes me grow as a person. I think being able to travel and see different cultures and meet different people is so refreshing. It's so great, and it's something I absolutely love. And it's actually a recent realization of that. It's not like I figured it out like before, like a couple of years before. It is more of something I figured out just recently and just really want to continue doing. So no, not right now. Ooh, travel around the world. No, I don't think so. I don't think I really want to travel around the world. The reason being is, you know, there are places I want to see, there are places I don't want to see, and I just want to leave it at that. I mean, yeah, it could be a comfort thing, but there's really no need for me to do it. You know, a lot of these folks who do bike touring, there's just a purpose, a need to go to go around the world. I really don't see it. I can go at places at a time and see places at parts of the time. I mean, there's just a lot of things going on in my life that doesn't really allow me to go around the world like that. But, you know, I give credit to all the folks who've already done it. You know, it's just amazing stuff what you do. So kudos for, you know, anybody that's traveled around the world or is traveling around the world. Awesome. I really am envious and amazed at what people are able to do. So yeah, keep on doing that. All right, guys, that was my About Me interview. So if you like what you saw, click on like below or subscribe to my channel, even better. And if you want to find out more about bicycle touring or bike touring, go to milestonerides.com. And until then, make sure you discover your ride.